Big weekend, boys.
Yep.
Big weekend.
Yep.
We got through our first 5 games. We're 5-0.
Yes.
We here at Happy Valley got through 4 straight home games.
Yep.
A little rough, but a lot of fun. And you met an admirer last weekend. Go ahead, Mailman.
I was driving my bike to the tailgates, and some guy and his daughter come up to me, Mailman, you got to hold on. My dad's been carrying this magazine for 4 years. He wants you to sign it. I said, who put you up? Who's doing this? I thought it was one of you guys, but he really wanted. He was so excited to have my.
Mailman doesn't like attention, but he has a flag attached to the back of his bike. You know, like I'm the mailman. I'm the mailman. I deliver.
It's unbelievable. It was fun. Tailgates are always fun.
Jeez.
Yeah. Especially on my bike.
Always fun.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Mikey.
Our admiring audience.
Yeah,
we
they're
love
everywhere.
them.
Yeah, we have a
They
good
are
time.
everywhere.
We love you. We're here to get you ready for this big matchup between the Hawkeyes and the Nittany Lions. Grab your pencil and your paper. It's the obligatory PSU pregame show. Cheers.
Cheers.
You made that up. Welcome back to the obligatory PSU pregame show. This week, we are at University Wine Company, another one of the many fine spots on the Central Pennsylvania Tasting Trail. Cool spot to come have a bite to eat, enjoy some wine, and a great spot, boys, to get ready for a top 5 matchup for the Nittany Lions. But before we do that, we are going to look back and I don't know, beloved campus icon Mike the Mailman, I feel like revenge has been gotten.
Yeah, well, Brandon was correct. That's used as a revenge game, and it worked. You were right. And this week will be another week, so we'll see what happens.
This will indeed be another week.
Yeah.
Good analysis.
Yeah.
Solid. That's why people come to the show.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. That's
So
right.
I talked about the 5-game gauntlet that
Yeah.
Penn State had to go through. Still maybe only secondary to what our own Kevin Horne has been going through. Between traveling to these away games and going to like 2 and 3 weddings in the same weekend and still keeping his attendance streak going. So we got our favorite ringer back, former Penn State offensive lineman Keith Goon Conlin.
Scab.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Scab.
Professional
With
Professional
the sweet,
replacement.
He's got a great playoff beard going right now.
Yeah, how long you been growing that beard, Goonie?
Since 2 days before the Wisconsin game, buddy. Haven't even touched it.
I want you to look like Gandalf the Wizard
Absolutely,
by
I
the
want
time
to.
this season's over.
Right.
So if we grow a beard, we could be like NFL players too, or what? I mean,
Let's ask our other NFL player,
okay.
former Penn State and NFL defensive tackle, Brendan Noble.
No.
Hello.
No, beard's not.
I couldn't even be a punter.
Yeah.
You know, not a punter.
Hey, look, I called the perfect NFL game last Sunday. There was not a single punt.
You're right.
Fourth time in NFL history, Eagles, Chiefs, no punting, which means it's terrible defense.
Yeah, courtesy of the Eagles defense.
Unlike
Yeah.
the Nittany Lions.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
right.
let's start there. So again, maybe not as much scoring as you would like to see, but this game, a necessary evil for Penn State to really get into what's turning out to be the meat of the schedule.
Yeah.
And man, you can't complain about a goose egg.
No, that's hard to do. I mean, it is really hard to do. At any level of football, it's hard to do. But to do it, against a Big Ten opponent, again, that has some offensive weapons, it was impressive. This group is really impressive, and they are getting a little bit better each week. And the thing that I really, really like, I mean, I love the way the secondary is outstanding right now, but the thing to me is the way that we tackle, right?
Yeah.
The way that we tackle at the second level, like the ball is caught and there are 2 and 3 bodies on them immediately.
Yeah. You haven't seen that in a few years.
No, it's been a while. It's not like, hey, we're running and chasing and grabbing. It's like whack, whack, right? And there's like the guy's down. So like you may catch the ball 4 yards, but you're not going to get 7. And that's a huge difference from before. And I really think that, look, all my years in the NFL, every defensive coordinator, same thing, right? I don't care what I call. If you guys don't tackle today, we're not going to play very well. And that is the baseline of defensive football is can you tackle them? This group tackles extremely well, and they have fun. That's the other thing. They're having fun playing football, which
That's
defensively especially is huge, right? It's about energy, it's about emotion, it's about anger, it's all of those things. And this group is playing really, really well in that regard.
So Chris probably gets upset with me because I say it on my show all the time, but I just don't think this team was gelled last year. When we talk about it, I don't think
I agree.
I don't think they weren't a tight team. And then to see James get up after that win the other night and say these guys genuinely like to play football together. They're going out there and having fun. And Brandon will tell you, there's nothing better in the whole world than winning when you're playing football with your friends. I mean, there's nothing.
Yes.
I mean, it hurts like hell when you lose because you feel like you let your buddies down, and that's the way it is. And that's the way I'm seeing this team, how they're preparing and how they're playing the game right now, which is such a difference because I really didn't like that team last year.
Yeah.
Not many of us liked that team last year. You were talking about things that team didn't do last year that this year's team is actually flourishing in.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fun to watch. It's a good team to watch. They're fun.
They're fun.
They're
a lot of fun.
resilient.
Yeah.
They're mentally tough. And James said it in his post-game press conference last week. I don't know that any one unit on the defense is playing lights out, but they're playing complementary football. They're getting some kind of a contribution at every level of the defense. And like you brought up the secondary, man, Joey Porter Jr. especially. How well is that guy playing?
Yeah, I mean, that whole group, right? Those two safeties and Porter, like he's able to take the half of a field away. I mean, he really is. He's the kind of guy that in college football, you can say, all right, we're just going to put you to the boundary or wherever we're going to put you, and that's yours, right? And look, the guy comes from good football blood, right? You know what I mean? He grew up in it. Yeah. So it's not surprising. I think watching him play this week was a lot of fun. And I'm old D lineman. I love watching the pass rush. I love watching the guys up front play, and that group is playing well. But again, the back end, the second level of our defense is as good as they've been in years.
Yep.
So we got a D that's going to keep us in every game.
Sure.
It looks like. And let's give Mike the Mailman some more laurels. Very needy for
Does
attention.
he need more?
Jeez.
Yes. So Mike, I do want to credit you.
Mike's the original trophy generation.
Yeah.
You said on the obligatory PSU podcast, which you can of course get wherever you get your podcasts, that Penn State was going to exceed 150 yards on the ground and that Kevon Lee was going to lead the team in rushing.
Yes.
And credit to you, Mike. It wasn't always pretty, but there are some baby steps happening in the run game.
Although I did think they didn't run as many north-south plays as I thought. They went too much on the outside.
East-west.
I mean, I don't know
You
about
are
that.
tough to please, Michael.
Well, but Kevon Lee, he ran the 44 yards up the middle, so I knew.
I'm with Mike the Mailman. Let's keep raising that standard because for as well as Penn State played defensively, and they took what they needed to when they needed to win the game, Goon.
Correct.
You were part of the best offensive line this school has ever seen. Got to be a little frustrating to watch them get stoned on the goal line like they did.
Well, better than the last few years, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the last few years have been very painful.
He's a glass half full guy.
Oh, yeah, I am what I am.
Yes.
I mean, it's frustrating watching them. And what Mike just said about the East, West, and the North and South, it's a lot of our yards were just going East and West and cutting it up. I mean, we're going to need this week to be able to get a couple tough yards when needed.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about all the time the whole 4-minute drill type of thing. This is a whole 60-minute drill with them. Get first downs, keep their offense off the field. We got to be able to manhandle their defense a little bit and impose our will. If we do, we'll get into our predictions, but that wasn't going to happen this past Saturday. We didn't go out and dominate.
Yeah.
That there's one little sad, I'm upset with, and that was we didn't dominate up front.
And I think that we'll talk about the Iowa matchup as the show moves on, but I think that Indiana's defense is pretty good.
It's really good.
And that middle linebacker, I wish I could remember his name.
Mike McFadden.
Good Lord.
Yeah, he was good.
Maybe my new favorite player.
They actually had another linebacker.
Yeah, I mean,
The other linebaker's name is Monster.
Yes,
First
he's
name.
scared
Good,
me.
yeah.
Come on, that's a great nickname.
You better be
I
good.
wish I would have thought of that.
You better be good.
But I didn't. But that kid was ridiculous.
He was good.
And that group balled. I mean, they played so. I can't imagine what it's like to be that defense and go back to work today with that offense.
Revenge. They lost.
Yep.
Too bad. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Listen to that tomahawk chop, you can't make it stop. Listen to the sound of the team in the tunnel now. Listen in the zombie nation while they jump around. Listen to the hard hits, listen to the marching band. Listen down.
And we are back here at University Wine Company. It's the obligatory PSU pregame show. I'm your fake host, Chris Bucanani, with Mike the Mailman, Brandon Noble, and our favorite scab, Keith Goon Conlin.
Hey, Ro.
And so, guys, Indiana off the deck. Now, all eyes on a top 5 matchup. First one, long time from Nittany Lions.
Yeah.
First one in the Big Ten, not involving Michigan or Ohio State since the 1970s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of attention on this one. And we couldn't let this go by without having Kevin Horne involved in the show some way. So as we talked about, he has been traveling all over between weddings and away games, and he was out in Iowa.
Yep.
And so this is Kevin from a few years ago, giving his impressions of his trip out to Iowa City after the 2017 game that we won in walk-off fashion. So let's check that out, and we'll be back with you in a moment.
Friday night was great. So I saw probably the coolest thing that I've ever seen in a Big Ten town on Friday night. So we're walking. They had this great pedestrian walkway in downtown Iowa City. It takes about 5 blocks. It's just all bars inward into this big courtyard. There's police on horses, but they're just sort of looking out unless you're being a jerk. They're not going to get stopped. And we see this like person wearing these crazy glasses, and they have a trombone or something. We're like, that's a little strange. So we go into the first bar we see. About 5 minutes later, the door is just open outward like this, and 100 or so people with musical instruments come running into this bar and jump up on the tables and jump up on the bar, and everyone just knows to remove their drinks. It was like nothing was happening. And they just start playing the Iowa fight songs, like all of them, for about 15, 20 minutes. Everyone's singing. It was incredibly loud. And I'm asking the kid, so the kid behind me has this trombone or this whatever the instrument is. I don't know what instruments are. But everyone is playing these songs. It's so loud, he's pumping it like this, like over and over again. I turn around, I'm like, hey man, like, what are you doing? Like, everyone else is playing. Like, what is this? He goes, well, like, we do this. I play the cymbals, and I can't fit the cymbals through the door, so I bring this and pump it, and they give us free beer. So I inquired more. They're unaffiliated with the Iowa marching band, though they all
unaffiliated.
They all happen to. Yeah. It was said with a wink, but they're all in the band. And every Friday night they go around Iowa City to about 15 bars and do the same thing at every bar. And the bar just pours them pitchers of beer. I mean, you have the drum major of the Iowa marching band on top of the bar, like going like this in the top hat and a yellow jacket. I think we have some video of it if we can show it.
You got put on blast on Facebook.
A little bit.
By no less an authority than the director of our own Penn State Marching Blue Band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the director,
Greg Drain kind of gave it to you.
Yeah, the director of the Blue Band, Greg Drain, he commented on my video of this happening. He said, you better enjoy it while you're out there because, in all caps, this will never happen at Penn State with the Blue Band. And it just shows like how rare these traditions are. Things that are maybe seen as uncouth, like going to bars to play music for free beer, which is awesome. Everyone thinks it's awesome, but in academia and higher ed, everyone's very sensitive about alcohol and things like that. I think unnecessarily so, even though I work in that arena. Don't fire me. It seemed a little sensitive, but it was a great experience out there. I enjoyed it, and like you said, the Friday night before the football game in college, the best.
Maybe a little weight gained in some cases, maybe a little bit lost. The only one who looks younger, though, for sure, is Mike the Mailman.
Yes.
You look younger now than in that clip.
Oh, I don't know why. I thought Brandon did.
No, not at all.
Was that you, Brandon?
No, it wasn't me. It was a different guy. Completely different person.
It was insurance.
Yes, that was the joke, Mike. Yes, thank you. So I think that really captures one of the things that I am having so much fun with this season, guys, and really appreciating having had a whole season with no fans here in town. Like Penn State's having a great season, which helps. Yep. But anytime you can get together in the fall around college football, it is just the best. And when you are scoreboard watching and your team's ranked and you're playing ranked competition, I don't know that anything beats it in sports.
Pretty nice going into that game knowing Oregon had lost, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was like, okay, we got a chance to move up here a little bit. No, we didn't.
Well, Iowa did, right? Iowa jumped us.
Iowa did. And rightfully so. I don't think anybody should be upset.
No. And that's going to make it even more fun to go out there. And
tough Maryland team.
Who cares?
Horribly tough.
Tough
Very tough Maryland team. Tough place to play.
Turtles.
Yeah,
tough.
Very, very tough. Horrible. But the stories I have from going to Maryland in the night games are just amazing. We'll get into some stories later, but yeah.
You know, they
Yeah, but I
cancel classes, Maryland.
They always
Is that-
did.
Yeah, maybe they should have.
Remember the 93 game where
Yeah.
they threw the bottle onto the field and hit off Brian O'Neill's shin and Kyle Brady's helmet, and it was shards of glass all over the end zone? It was like, ooh.
Classic.
I remember my first beer.
Yeah.
But no, but I love, that was awesome. That is the epitome of college football right
Yes.
there. And I love when people come into State College at night and on weekends and they're like, this place is awesome. And you're like, yeah, well, this is what we do. We love it. And, you know, Iowa's like that. Wisconsin's like that. I love it. Never been to Wisconsin. I've never been to Iowa for an away game other than playing. I want to do it big time because I did Wisconsin a few years ago. Did Ohio State. That'll never, ever happen again. Did Michigan. No ho-hum. That was no big deal. But I do want to do Iowa. If it wasn't after 4 home games and my liver took a vacation, you know, I did bring my liver here today for the show, you know.
4 home games. How about 4 home games and like 9 weddings?
Yes,
which is
which is what Horne's
Kev
doing,
did.
yeah.
Now, I know we're going to talk a little bit to you guys later in the show about your experiences out at Kinnick. You talk about it as one of your favorite places to play.
100%.
Kev said it is absolutely one of the best places to go and check out. I'm going to be looking forward to hearing from him next week about his
definitely.
experience out there. But we're going to make another stop on the tasting trail on the other side of the break, so stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are here at the University Wine Company, really cool spot here in State College. And we all got a chance to come check this place out last fall when it was just getting built, and now it's finished. But we're first going to share with you our trip, and then we're going to talk to the owner on the other side of the break. So here it is. Enjoy.
If you had to pick a wine to drink, what would you pick? Red, white, dry, sweet?
I think the one with the highest ABV.
There you go. Yes,
Say.
an extra big bottle.
I like sweet.
You like sweet? Okay.
I like sweet.
Red.
Red.
Yeah.
Dry red.
I don't
Middle
know,
of the road.
I don't know the difference.
Okay. Well, we'll
with
figure
you.
that out.
Yeah.
Hopefully later. We'll taste some and see
That's
what you
cool.
like.
Yeah.
My last name's Buchanani, so I'm going to go with the dry red.
There you go. Okay. All right.
Still got that new car smell.
Yeah, so we wanted to create, a place that people could come, hang out, grab a bottle of wine, a glass of wine, and just kind of relax and forget the problems of the world. And, kind of our philosophy is, what's going around the bottle is almost as important as what's in the bottle. Mm-hmm. And it's all about the friendship, the food, what you're doing as you're consuming that wine. So we wanted to create an environment that kind of facilitates that atmosphere for people. So like I said, we've been in business for about 10 years. Our original product was you freeze wine slush. It's wine in a pouch that you freeze. Sure. You just pop it in the freezer, it slushes up, and a nice adult frozen treat. Yeah. And then we started bottling wines, and we have a wine bar in the Greek restaurant beyond the Waffle Shop, and we have a little place in Tyrone inside a coffee shop called The Brew. We have about 6 different varieties planted right now. It's sort of a little bit of a experiment, see what grows well here, what doesn't. Obviously, our climate is much different than some of the other grape growing regions. So we're very different than California, obviously. And our climate is actually more like the old world European climate. So it's very important to find grapes, varieties that will grow well in your specific climate, right. and every site is different. And that's one of the neat things about grape growing in the Northeast is, you don't have the same thing every year, weather-wise, year in, year out. You have, one year might be a really hot summer, hot dry, the next year might be cool wet, and so there's a lot of vintage variation from year to year, and that's part of the interesting thing in making wine from these grapes is, how do you deal with that? And the wines aren't necessarily going to be the same from year to year. Right. There's a couple things that they tell you to do. They're all S words. Okay. So the first is sight. Take a look at your wine. It should be a nice, vibrant color, nice and clear. The next S is swirl with your glass, and sniff. Take a nice sniff. See what you smell. Hopefully you smell some nice bright red fruit, maybe a little oak.
You know what? I can probably actually smell the oak, and I'm terrible at this stuff. People are like, oh, I smell blah 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 this, this, that, and the other. I can't do that at all. I do get the.
There's a lot of debate about this. You know, so like some places, you know, have these really detailed wine lists. So sniff is the next S, and then sip. Swirl it around your mouth. You know, you want to. You do taste different things in different places in your mouth, so you want to swish it around, roll it around, so you make sure it hits everywhere in your mouth, and then swallow, and or spit.
Yeah, it really catches Mike.
So that's so those are sort of the S's of wine tasting.
Gotta swirl it, Brandon. Swirl and sniff. Swirl and sniff. Welcome back to the obligatory PSU pregame show at University Wine Company. All season long, we've been talking to you about the Central Pennsylvania Tasting Trail and really enjoying these stops we've been making. And so it's cool to actually be here at one of them and to see it totally finished and ready to go. And we're with Jeff Proch, rhymes with Scotch.
That's right.
Which is the mnemonic he gave me to remember that, which I really appreciate. And Jeff, thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming. Glad you could shoot your show from here.
Yeah, absolutely. The place looks very cool, a little bit more finished.
Yeah,
from
last time we were here, you were putting the whole thing together.
That's
so
right.
you kind of had the framework up, but man, it looks amazing.
Yeah, you were here right as we were putting the finishing touches on the building. There wasn't any furniture. We hadn't moved in yet, so we were right at the cusp of getting ready to open.
So very cool, ground floor here. You got the outside seating, tasting room upstairs, event space. And one of the reasons why I think the tasting trail has been such a good fit for the show is that when people come into town for a football game, they're cool spots they can hang out, especially on a Friday night after they've checked into their hotel or their Airbnb or whatever. And you guys, you have live music, you've got food trucks here. It's a really cool spot to come hang out on a Friday night before a football Saturday.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so every Friday from now till the end of the year, we have a food truck. We'll have a food truck on site, and we have live music. So like you said, it's a great place to come hang out if you're in town for a game and have a Friday night available and come out, have some wine, and listen to some music.
The other thing I like about it, we love telling Happy Valley stories on this show. All of these businesses are locally owned. They're people who do business right here in the community. They love the place. You guys have been around for quite a while, even though this new space just opened up recently.
Right, yeah, we've been producing wine for 10 years. We started out, our original product was you-freeze wine slushies.
Right.
Wine in a pouch that you freeze into a fun frozen adult treat. Great for tailgating.
Yeah.
Can't have glass, so take your pouch of wine.
Or breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good stuff.
You can't have glass.
Right, supposedly technically can't have glass. But yeah, so that was our original product. And then we branched out into bottled wines. We have a wine bar in the Greek restaurant, which is a restaurant on Atherton Street in State College behind the Waffle Shop. It's a wonderful, authentic Greek cuisine. If you like Greek food, you got to check that out.
Yeah, just on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, so we have a wine bar in there. All of our wines are available there by the bottle, by the glass, with your meal or to carry out. And but this was kind of the dream and the goal, to have a facility like this, a proper tasting room that people could come here, have some wine, hang out, bring your friends, bring some food, and just have a good time. We're very much about the experience, the overall experience, and wine is just one part of the overall experience.
The location is amazing. I mean, it really is. Like the view is
we are probably 5 miles from downtown State College. We're at 540 Misty Hill Drive, and right off of Route 45. Out of the north side of the building, you can see the stadium. You have a great view of the stadium. And actually, for the night games, when I've watched them here, and the touchdown fireworks go off before I see it on the TV.
That's awesome.
That's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's cool to see the fireworks from here and the Goodyear blimp we've seen in the last couple weekends, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I love that. I love the story of somebody who started business here in Happy Valley. You kept growing and getting bigger, as we saw. You grow your own grapes here on site. You've got the tasting room, the whole 9 yards, and like you said, good spot to come watch your games too, right?
Sure.
You do watch parties here?
Yep, we have the TV up, so you can come here, watch the game, and enjoy some wine while you do it.
We don't
It's
like
not
that.
just football. It's
not
the
our
whole
thing.
picture. It's awesome. University Wine Company, check them out. We're going to talk to these guys about Penn State, Iowa on the other side.
And it's important that you never invite me to a fall wedding on Saturday night. It's a tradition.
We are indeed here at University Wine Company in State College. This is the obligatory PSU pregame show. And what a game to pregame for.
Yeah.
Nittany Lions have not won a top 5 matchup on the road, Mike the Mailman, since the two gentlemen to my right were playing in blue and white. 1994 season, the road trip to the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan. Oh, remember that one?
So we're hoping history might repeat itself, but I know you guys
Broke my neck.
have both said, as I alluded to, that Kinnick's one of your favorite places to play, to go and play as a player on the road in the Big Ten.
It is the environment. It is. I mean, that and Camp Randall to me are the two places that you're just like, this is Big Ten football. You know, the Camp Randall environment is great. They've got great tradition there, but Kinnick is just like, they are so close to you. They are right. I mean, they are right behind you. I mean, it is. You got about 5 yards of sideline tops. And then there's a wall, and then there they are, right there. And it is.
So we already won at Camp Randall. Let's just go 2-0 in the Brandon
Which will
top 2.
absolutely. It is. It's a really, really cool place. The environment is amazing. They love football out there. You know, we saw from Kevin's segment from a couple years ago, right? You know, like it is a college town. It's that and Madison are as close to State College as you could possibly get. There's so many similarities between the programs. I mean, and now we're 3-4 or 4-3 going into this thing. I mean, it's perfect. It's how it should be.
Yeah, I didn't get to play at Madison. Until his senior year was the first time we went out there. So I never got the experience out there, but I went to Kinnick twice and it was freaking awesome both times. Really just cool environment. And then going out there.
They butcher their own meat out there. They butcher their own meat out there.
Yeah, well, and they grill it and they toss it around pretty good too. So I guess we'll go into this story real quick. But we got to go in. Me and Noves always talk about the same 3 things. And that is the night before dinner.
Yes.
I mean, every Penn State football player will talk about how good the pregame or the night before dinner was. They know how to feed their boys out there.
Yeah, oh, they absolutely
I mean, plate of lasagna, plate of chicken, a steak, and then the corn. Unbelievable.
Corn is unbelievable.
You just sit there and just start eating and eat. And eat.
That's
like,
very
wow.
on brand.
Yeah. Well, he's at the cookie station over there, so it's all good.
Yeah.
The story is that you can go to Florida Bloggy or whatever. That was the site that we talked about it last year, and that is that 1995 I was a short snapper, so me and my little brother went out there with the kickers and the punters and some other guys who were snappers and warming up and this and that, and then they open up the gates, and then it's not like Penn State where it is first come first serve, but they come out of the gate and they sit in their rows. So the gates are up here for Iowa, so it's and they just come running down, and you just hear this wave of human people just running down steps at you, and you're like, what in the hell is going on here? And it's the students coming in because they let the gates open. They're running down trying to get in the first couple rows. So we're sitting there stretching like, this is a pretty cool environment, and then it happened. I don't know how or what. I'm like looking down at my feet. I'm like, what the hell just hit me? And this and that. And it was a severed freaking pig's head. Grilled up, raw. I don't know. I didn't look at it that long. I was like, what the hell is this thing? And Stan Clayton and Jay were there, and they were like, get this thing out of here and this and that. And I'm just sitting there. I was like, what in the hell just happened? It's going to hit by a pig's head. This is insane. I was like, this is awesome. It's a pretty cool environment. So great. Dude, I'm telling you, Brandon will tell you too. You're not going to find kids who are tougher than them.
No.
I mean, they are as tough as you get in the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
And they are
that's held-
overachieving.
and that's held true since when you guys were in school right up
Forever.
to today.
Ever.
Yeah.
They are tough, hardworking kids who you got to block them. You better block them, and you better stay on them because they're going to fight, claw, and they're not the biggest, strongest, greatest athletes. They're at Iowa for a reason. They didn't go to Ohio State or Michigan or Texas or Oklahoma because they were just one little click off, you know?
Right.
Defensively. Offensively, they just produce offensive linemen. It's unbelievable right now what they're doing.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
You know, I was watching that big Tampa-New England game last week.
And
I
worse,
thought it was interesting. The bookend tackles.
Yeah.
Big Tens.
Penn State and Iowa.
Yeah. And
Worse than Donovan Smith.
it's a great place to play. The environment is amazing. Like I said, they're right on top of you, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, look, we had our 7th team quarterback's helmet stolen during the game. Someone popped out. That's how close they are. Someone popped out of the stadium seats, jumped down, grabbed a helmet from under the bench, and jumped back into the stadium without anybody knowing what was happening. And Doug didn't know until the very, very end, and I'm sure
He was
got
in the locker room.
a lot of trouble.
Our pink locker room.
Pink, very
Scared.
pink.
Yes.
Crapping his pants because he thought that Joe was going to kill him for losing his helmet. He was the 19th string quarterback, so he was charting plays, so he didn't have to wear his helmet. He's the only guy that didn't have to have his helmet with him.
Yes.
So he was charting plays, and it was sitting on top of the Gatorade there. Somebody swiped it. Now let Brandon finish it up. The best story is the ending.
They sent it back because it's Iowa.
Oh, that's nice.
Somebody's father.
Also very
Send it
on
back.
brand.
That's exactly
Somebody's
right.
father saw
Exactly.
it in their kid's house and said, "What the hell is this?" He goes, "They stole it from Penn State." He goes, "Well, you send it back," and they overnighted it.
Let me just say, they
Amazing.
threw a severed pig's head at y'all, but you still got the dub.
Yes.
Damn it, I've been waiting all week. Counting down the days till I'm back in my seat.
Welcome back to the obligatory PSU pregame show from University Wine Company. This is where you wanted to be as a Penn State fan. I mean, you couldn't have any better expectations, right? Top 5 matchup. You're going on the road. This is how you prove your mettle, right? The whole iron sharpens iron thing. I got some good news and some bad news, boys. I'm here. I'm your fake host, Chris Buchanani, with Mike the Mailman, Brandon Noble, and Keith Goon Conlin. Since the Nittany Lions beat the Arizona Wildcats,
Is this good or
at
bad?
home-
Is this the good or bad?
Is this the good or bad?
well, just wait. Since Penn State won the 99 Arizona game to open the season, they are 1-15 in top 5 matchups.
This is bad news.
That's the
Against
bad.
top 5 teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But the one was
Iowa.
coached by James Franklin
okay.
against number 2 Ohio State.
All right,
So
fair.
now he's looking for number 2.
It's a huge game.
It's the game you come to Penn State for.
Yeah,
Game you
it's
come why you play college football.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's why you pick a school like Penn State or any of the top tier schools, right? Is to be in this game right here. And
I'm not going too far ahead, but we're going to play like 3 more of them until the
Right,
schedule's
that's
over.
good.
But
And
you got to
you-
play
and
the
you
game.
gotta
in
get
front
this
of you.
one first,
I
Yeah.
think this is part 2 of the season. It was the first 5 games, then it's
Right.
part 2, then you get a little bye week, and then it's Ohio State, Maryland, Michigan,
Right.
Rutgers,
I
Michigan State.
think-
So I think this is part 2.
Yeah.
From and Keith can maybe talk about this a little bit more because I was relatively I'm a year younger than
I'm in
Goon,
trouble. Call me Keith.
But in '94, right? It just kind of built, right? You know what I mean? And it's just like we talked about the Michigan Penn State game in
Yeah.
'94, and like I was just trying to stay alive, right? At that point in my career, and so like to be a starter, to be on the field every game, to understand how every single snap means something. That is why you come to Penn State to play football. And these guys are going to walk into that locker room. I don't know if it's pink anymore or
I
not.
don't know either.
But like running out of that tunnel, running out on that football field, it is one of those moments that you will never forget as a football player.
There's nothing better than being told to go after yourself by 75,000 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So 2 things, and that is that when I went into the season, we were talking about the season, Booch, on my radio show, talking about how, like, man, why the hell we open up at Wisconsin? But I'm telling you right now, that at Wisconsin, that big game environment on the road is going to pay off. And this is one of those weekends where it's going to pay off. We're not going to go out there like are looking at the, shell shocked at all, in my opinion. We've been there, we've done it. Let's go, roll it out there. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you do. This is why you play the game, and it's just like you want the whole country watching you. And Brandon said about the '94. I mean, it just built and just built. I mean, and I don't know, we were cocky as hell as offensive players. These guys are literally hanging by the.
Yeah.
I mean, the D line was just getting chopped up for the whole '94 season. I mean, we were on the field for 2 minutes and then scoring, and they're running back out there, and like teams were trying to play them by running the ball on them, and that takes a physical toll on you. So
Yeah.
but this game right here is just absolutely huge, enormous. I wish that I had gone out there, because I think that the Iowa waving after the first quarter, waving at the Children's Hospital thing, it's probably the best tradition that's been brought up in the last 50 years. I mean, I absolutely love that.
But as a player, every time you walk out in the field, you think you're going to win, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I don't see the difference.
It's a question of how much you're going to win by, or you still got to run scared. You still got to, because you got to.
And it's the anxiety, the anxiousness of like the build up, right? I mean, that is
just get here.
Let's just get there, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you get there and you run out of that tunnel, and then it's like, whew, all right, I get to go play now.
Well, that's where I think we maybe got a little bit of a pass from the TV scheduling gods.
Yeah.
Because normally Penn State goes out to Kinnick, especially in this type of situation. It's a night game, really tough situation, really tough environment. And just because of the way it's fallen, we talked about it last week, it's going to be a 4 o'clock kickoff East Coast, 3 o'clock in Iowa. So you avoid having to play late into the evening under the lights in Kinnick. I think that's a positive for Penn State, yes?
You heard me say it last week on the show, and that is that we played a Saturday night game. Our kids didn't get to bed until at least 1 or 2. You know what I mean? That's even if they're not going out partying because of a night game and this and that. So then now you got to travel all day Friday, and then you got to wait around. I mean, if we had a noon game at Iowa, I would be very, very skeptical of this. I really would be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, the 4 o'clock is perfect because they're not going to be as juiced up in the crowd, if you know what I mean.
Right.
By that time, as the night game,
Yep.
But the afternoon game, it worked out well for us with the scheduling and stuff like that. So, starting to think that I'm watching this team, I'm listening to James talk and this and that. This team is a special team to him, and it's turning into a special team for a lot of people.
Yep.
Well, guys, one of the longest winning streaks in college football is going to come to an end this weekend.
Yeah.
Because Iowa has won 11 in a row. Penn State, since starting 0-5, has won 9 in a row. And again, you saw what they did to Maryland last week, but it's one of those questions about 7 turnovers against Maryland on a Friday night.
Yeah, I don't think Iowa was as good as they appear to be. And I don't think Maryland was as bad as they appear to be. And I think those turnovers definitely made a difference, and they obviously did. But they're not that good. I don't think they're that good.
Well, they're leading the Big Ten
Yeah.
in scoring defense, only a notch ahead of Penn State.
Yeah.
And they have been second historically over the last several years in that category. Wisconsin's been number 1, and we've already beaten that team in their building. So to your point, Goon, Penn State knows what they're going to be getting into.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it, man. It's all you can do is sit there and say, I can't wait till Saturday afternoon to watch this freaking game. In the comfort of my own house.
Yeah.
Not having to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Not having to tailgate all day long. Oh my goodness, it's a long one.
That's what he
It's
does.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's not going to kill me
No.
to not have a bunch of people in my house and
sure.
not have to wake up early in the morning and do the whole day thing. But on the other side, we'll break it down who we think is going to win. We'll hear from Kevin. Again, stay with us here on the Obligatory PSU.
Prime time, and we under the lights now. Gotta shut it down for the whiteout from Tuscaloosa.
Hi, I'm Mike the Mailman. If you or your loved one or a friend has a gambling problem, don't hesitate to call the number below on the screen. They're there to help. Hi everybody, Mike the Mailman here with another edition of Trends to Treasure. This will be for the weekend of October 16th and 17th. Well, we have a lot of nice trends this week. So I'll start with the first one. We have Ohio University at Buffalo. Buffalo has covered 5 of the last 5 games, so go with Buffalo. The second trend this week, we have Duke at Virginia. Virginia has also covered 6 out of the last 6 games, so go with the Cavaliers minus the points. Our third selection this week is Miami of Florida at UNC. North Carolina has covered the last 5 out of the 6 games, so go with the Tar Heels minus the points. For our bonus pick this week, we go to the NFL. We have Kansas City at Washington. Kansas City has covered the last 7 games, so go with the Chiefs minus the points. That's it for this week's Trends to Treasure segment, and don't forget, bet with your head and not with your heart. Go get them.
Kevin's not here, but we absolutely can't do this show without getting his pick. So let's go right to it. Kev, Penn State versus Iowa. Who you got, brother?
How's it going, Obligatory? Sorry I couldn't be there to film the show this week. Some of us actually have real jobs. So I'm here filming this in Pittsburgh. I'm actually at the site of the original University of Pittsburgh, which is now a rundown parking lot across from the pawn shop. Anyway, figured I'd film it in an idyllic location. Love the Nittany Lions this weekend. I like how we match up against Iowa. I think you can beat any team you play, even if the defense is, as it's been, the worst game they played in the first 5 games. Penn State beats Iowa by at least a touchdown. I like the way we match up. I think Petrus is not a very good quarterback. I don't think Iowa's going to be able to run against this defense. If Sean Clifford can give us 20, just 20, we're going to win the football game. I like Penn State by about 5. I think it's going to be a nail-biter if they can't run the clock out. But Penn State by 5. Take the money line, take the points. We are Go State.
That was refreshing.
Yes,
Crazy.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah, that's right.
The random number generator segment with Kevin Horne.
Yeah.
Picking the Nittany Lions. So we're going to keep it on the refreshing side and
Yes.
start next with you, Brandon.
Yeah, no, I've
Penn
decided.
State, Iowa. Who you got?
I've got Penn State, 21-17. Because look, I think that this Iowa defense is legit.
Sure is.
You know, we scored 21 points against a good, very, very good Indiana defense, right? They gave us fits. And this Iowa defense is better. They're better on the back end. They do a great job of rushing and covering. But I think our defense on the other side of that has the ability to keep teams under 21 points. And so that's where I'm going with it. 21-17, old school, Big Ten bloodbath. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm with you on the defensive battle and being, until somebody can beat up our defense, I'm going to stay bullish on Penn State. I have not seen it done yet. I don't foresee it happening with Iowa. I don't think their offense is as good as people are saying. I think that the Iowa State game was a fluke because Iowa State's not that good. Well, I mean, people are saying the same thing about Ohio or Penn State beating Wisconsin, Auburn, but I think that Indiana team was a lot better than people really give it credit for.
Give credit to Auburn. Look, I don't care if it's a down year for LSU.
Yeah.
They haven't won in Death Valley in over a decade. Yeah. And to go in there and get that W, not only good for them, but good for us.
Like I just said about us going to Wisconsin and getting that away game feel. Yep. They had that away game feel against us, and they went into Death Valley and this ain't nothing.
As much we've been through. Wanted to say it was something.
Yeah.
Our place is
so, I think that our offense has a little bit of a breakout here this week, and I'm going to go back to the typical offensive lineman. Whoever offensive line plays better and can run the ball, this and that is going to win. But I just don't see our defense giving up more, again, like 21 points. So I got us, I'll say it's random. 27-10. I like this. Ooh, I really do.
Even better than ours.
I've been bullish on Penn State the whole season. You can actually attest to this. How I've been saying how this team, I think there's something special.
I agree.
It's a pretty damn good team. They're having fun. That's the way you play the game, man.
Yep.
So, an interesting dynamic with Penn State playing Iowa is for years during the Paterno era, they always said Iowa found a way to out Penn State.
Yep.
Right?
6-4.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Brutal.
let's not go there. Although, hey,
Mr. Conlin, we're going to have to ask you to leave the establishment. I was asked to leave a bar.
I always like to remind people that the 6-4 game, as terrible as it was, that was Sean Lee's official visit. And that guy looked at the defense we played in that game and said, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So even that got a silver lining.
Yes.
Sort of.
But during the Franklin era, it does feel like Iowa has gotten Penn State to often play down to their level, to try to play
Grind it
Ferenc
out,
ball,
slug
Paterno
it.
ball.
Yeah.
Yep. And really, the only person who's been able to go out there and impose this sort of spread style 21st century offense on Iowa is Bill O'Brien. We did that in 2012.
That was the best that team was. They peaked that day.
Yeah.
Unbelievable what they
good
did
day
that
to
day.
peak.
Yes.
So I've been dreading this. Look, people have been saying, not a lot of people had Penn State 5-0 at this point. Not a lot of people had Penn State beating Wisconsin and Auburn. I did. I'm on record as having Penn State start 5-0, and stub their toe for the first time at Kinnick. I'm going to stick with that. I've got Iowa 24-20.
Mike, take care.
I saved you for last, Mike the
take care
Mailman,
of this
because I
guy.
wanted some positivity to close the show.
Oh my
Well,
God.
you know, I really was impressed with Iowa's quarterback last week. He threw the ball better than I thought he could. But once again, Iowa has not faced an offense that Penn State has. And I think, and like you guys said about the defense is a lot better. I think I like the Nittany Lions this week by 9.
By 9.
By 9. Yep.
So Goon actually has us winning by the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I've been drinking wine. I'm an offensive lineman. Really hardcore. I'm drinking this NA fruit juice over here.
Thanks to University Wine Company for hosting us, for getting Goon all toasted up.
Yeah, baby.
I'm the only jerk out of the whole crew. Please, Lord, let me be wrong. We'll see you next week. Go State.
Do it.